Greetings and welcome back to Drasier TMD. My name is Drasier and you're watching Space Engineers Survival. That's right, so today, whoops, oh my goodness, we are still in spectator cam. I actually need to kind of rewind a little bit because of the way I've edited things together for the last episode and for this episode, so let's roll that and then we'll catch up when we get back to this point right here. So let's see, given that there's one block there, two, I think we're going to need to go, let's just do it this way to begin with. Yep, that's right, so 1, 2 will clear us from that. Nope, one more. So actually it's going to be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another set of wheels. Oh, too far. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Anyway, so you can obviously see what I'm doing. I'm fleshing out the framework. I'm going to continue with this and I'll show you what I've got before I weld it up. And we'll kind of go over it and, you know, maybe I'll change my mind, but for now I think I know what I'm going to do. A couple of things while I'm working. Some of you may have noticed that I seem fairly unconcerned about the fact that there are a lot of ships buzzing around. It's because I'm not terribly concerned. None of them have so far come anywhere near to being a problem, and so I'm quite happy to let them just zip on by for the time being. I meant to have a lot more stuff done, like having things underground before now. I can't believe how long it's taken to excavate. Excavation is the biggest thing, because yeah, it's kind of annoying to have to run back and forth for parts to build things. But honestly, that's not the biggest time consumer. Yeah, it's digging. And I could, of course, double up on the drills and I could make it much faster, but the problem is my processing then cannot keep up with all the material. So it's kind of a first world problem. Oh, I've got too much stuff, too much material, blah, blah, blah. Cry me a river, I get that, fine, fine, fine. So, oops, what I'm doing is just kind of going as fast as my current infrastructure will allow me, because another thing is I don't really have the space now because I had all those tanks to fill up, which maybe I shouldn't just be worried about saving so much hydrogen, I don't know. One way or the other, I'm either building cargo containers or I'm building tanks or I'm building more refineries or something. It seems to be working for now, it's just a little bit tighter on the old space than I would like. So that's why I have not been too concerned about those, because I want to get other things done before I get to a point where I can either start attacking them or start exploring to, you know, prod some beehives. Also, while I'm working, I wanted to say a very special thank you to everybody who has subscribed, commented, not just recently, although there was a massive influx of people subscribing and commenting recently, which was just amazing to see, and I really appreciate the support, guys. But just overall, from the beginning of when I started this to now, you guys have, you know, spurred me on to keep going, to try new things, to get stuff out on time, to really make a go of this, because before it was just kind of like a casual, oh, I'm just kind of doing this to see what happens, and it still is to a degree. It's very much an experimental stage kind of thing, but now I feel like, oh, people actually enjoy this. They really are interested in seeing what's going on. That's great. So please feel free to keep on commenting all that good stuff, as much to let me know if there's anything else I can do to improve, things you'd like to see different. I have ideas about what things I want to do anyway, and as I've said in some other videos, I will probably end up doing a lot of that kind of stuff regardless. But, you know, if there's something you really, really hate, tell me. I don't want to... is there a way to get just tires? I think there is. Let's go to... oh my goodness. I'm going to have to sort my... there we go, tires. I'm gonna have to sort my hot bars out at some point. I want these little ones because I think those are much more forgiving when it comes to things being set on them. Should I even turn them this way so they look like they're kind of sitting on the rubberized section? I think I will, just to make it look, otherwise they're sort of sitting on the rims. So in particular recently to Super Trigger Finger 45, Flo, Patrick Maher I think it's pronounced, but forgive me if I'm wrong. I saw a lot of different ways to pronounce it online and none were terribly helpful as to which way it should be. Smoke and Flames 1976, 54 Bear, Captain Cannon and Seaweed Dave, all recently very kind to send me some messages of encouragement and or just amusement or whatever. I really seriously appreciate it a lot, and I try to message everybody back if I can at least once, but regardless, your support means a lot to me, truly. Thank you. Alright, enough blubbering, let's get back to work. You know what though, I think I might make this, since I've got the two wheels at the front there, I might make this a rear steering machine, like a forklift, which will make it kind of unstable, though it's not really supposed to, you know, not supposed to race around at stupid miles per hour. It's supposed to be a almost a construction, an industrial-esque vehicle. You probably don't need those bumpers at the back there, but I'm going to leave everything as it is for the minute. Now I'm going to have to do some serious thinking because what I'm going to do is I am going to detach that thing, which will be fun for you guys, but this is going to be rather daunting for me, so I'll make sure I know which one that is. I'm pretty sure it's listed right there. Drill rig mover. I definitely did. I did name it. So let's go ahead and reverse that. I'm actually going to set it to total of 90 now, since the other stuff is out of the way. So look here. Okay, that is essentially ready to lock. Landing gear. Pretty sure it's this one. It's the only one that's it's ready to lock also. So lock. Here it is. So I'm pretty sure I don't need that anymore. So it's all good to dismantle it. And when I say dismantle, I mean just remove these pieces. So let's go ahead and we need to remove this one. Need to remove this one. And we need to remove this one. Now it's very possible, and it looks like I do have a hard point there, so that's all good. It's very possible I'll need to remove... Yes, I think it's stuck to these voxels as well, so I'm going to shore this up really quick with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How did I manage that? Oh, because it's got 1 block clearance. For some reason I thought that it was more blocks out, but it's just remembering things incorrectly. Let's go ahead and weld these up, since it will free up some space to break down the other ones. Oh, I think it is free because it was moving just then. It looks like it is. Oh, and it is rattling. Oh, goodness. Okay, I think it was just from the initial... from being removed. Okay. Reverse. Okay, good. I wasn't sure if it was going to have clearance. Oh my goodness, I didn't even look to see if it would make it around this pillar or... the car. The truck. The behemoth. Okay. So that is removed and more or less in the position that I'm going to want it to be on. I'm going to have to build something else to move it back this way a little bit and then figure out a way to lay it down. What I'm probably going to end up having to do is clamping somewhere in the middle here and then turning it. I sincerely hope that the rotors have enough strength to actually do this, because I honestly don't know. And if it all goes horribly, horribly wrong, then I will just rebuild it. But I would like to be able to, just for the fun of it, move this entire drill system onto the actual truck. I think that would be really cool. So the drills will sit more or less along this middle bar here. The two struts will sit on these bumper wheels that are sticking up. I guess the next thing would be to kind of figure out how I want to do that. And I've just realized that I'm actually now attached to the only point at which I actually want to change that, because I want to move this out here and then up into the middle, because I want the middle portion to be... That's okay. That's okay. Let's hash this out as we go, because there's no point just staring at it and talking. Let's actually experiment a little bit. So this will be the main connection point, or is that going to have to be cleared a little bit more? Probably will have to be cleared a little bit more. I'm going to need one, and then another one, something like this, and then one, and then another one, something like that. So I need a connection point on the one side. In fact, I don't necessarily need this one, just has to be a support structure, but we're just going to build it like it is for the moment. This side, it's going to need to be able to pipe all the way from the drills through one of the arms, or the sides of one of the arms. Oh, this is becoming quickly much more complicated than I initially thought, but this is all doable. It's just going to take a little bit of thinking, and this is actually what I love about this kind of thing, is the figuring out these kinds of problems. And in fact, if I really wanted to, I could actually take a point here, ditch these pipes altogether, and just have this be a strictly a hard point for it to be more support than anything, and then this would just be the middle piece where it connects to the advanced rotor. Okay, it's making sense in my head. I'm figuring things out. I'm going to tinker around a little bit, and again, I'll return to you once I have a solid plan and some more progress made. Alright, so I've moved a few things around. I've actually attached this piston, which is the top piston, effectively, to the base so it doesn't go anywhere else. I'm going to fully retract this so I can see exactly how far I have. Wait a minute. I'm on the wrong one. And there we are. So that's back to more or less its final position. Let's make sure all the others are in the right place. So, what I'm going to do next, or immediately, is I'm going to mock out roughly... Whoops, come on now. So that's the three that's going to be at the bottom here, which unfortunately don't quite fit there, but that's okay. I'll attach them at the end. It's going to need to come at least 4 out. It's going to have to go, that's 1, 2. Yeah, I'm just marking out where things go in a very rough kind of way. In fact, let's see. So how much clearance do I need? 3 at least here. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's where the actual drills will go. So that's right where it is. This is going to be the middle here. So let's put that in the middle. Yeah, this is kind of how I usually build things. Very much a wire mesh framework to begin with. I realize I'm burning up a ton of fuel just buzzing around like that to get an idea of where things need to go. This is such a complicated transfer already. I'd hate to mess it up just because I wasn't thinking properly. And actually, I'm going to need to turn this drill head. Did I not? I did not. I thought I put a control panel on here. Just to give me a very good idea of where everything should go. I need a construction component, a computer, and a display. Because with something so complex, if you if you do it wrong, the consequences of having to redo something like that can be far worse than actually attaching it in the first place. So it's better just to do it once and do it right. Yeah, so again, I'm going to keep going. It's just going to take a while, and mostly it's just up here. Once I get it, it'll be fine. It's just going to take me a little time to work through the first of all, to find the jetpack button, but to work through the logistics. That's the biggest thing for me right now. Alrighty, so I've gotten a few things sorted out. Kinda think I've got it to where it needs to be, though I'll have to move some things around. One of the things that worries me is that this rotor is... I had to turn the torque way up to get it to move. I'm worried that once I fill this out with components, it's not going to want to move. And in particular, once it's got this huge heavy drill system on here, it's going to be interesting. I might even change this so it doesn't require turning at the top here, because I don't think that's going to make any difference. It's not going to help anything for sure. Okay, so that's all done, and now we can get back to what we were actually doing. So as you can see here, I've got the arm that's going to be holding up the drill section right here. One of the things I've just thought of is that this is going to drop to the ground. It shouldn't be enough though to be a problem. Oh, and apparently I left some things on the ground here. Whoops. What I want to do next, I need to drill that out of the way, or remove it, because I actually want to stick this together. I want to make sure though that I'm giving enough clearance for everything. So this is going to have to be from here 1, 2, 3, and then clearance, clearance. That should be enough, and that should keep it tight to where we want it as well. So let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen? It all falls apart and destroys my entire base, etc., etc. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to merge those 2 points. Did I even have a merge block on here? I know I did, because I was using it to build the drill rig that's back at base, which I have not forgotten about. I am still eager to get back to that. And that one will go there. Oh, it's too high. It's too high. Wait a minute, if that's too high and this is too low, did I miscount? Yep. I think it's gonna have to go up one. This is what I mean about finding it difficult to know exactly where things go and how it should all fit together, because if I get this wrong and the drills are too far down, it'll just scrape across the ground and I'll never actually get the thing started. Okay, so now this is going to have to move at least 2 blocks. Oh, it's a bit jumpy again. Okay, so that should be more or less lined up where we want it on this side. I say more or less because it's actually going to end up sliding right by itself, which we don't want. Oh, please tell me I've lined this up properly. I'd be so upset if I'm wrong. Okay, I've checked and double checked so many times that just crazy times right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a way, and probably just use pistons again, to move this over and line these up. So let's see if we can take care of that. Oh, this is by far the jankiest way I can think of to do this. I'm literally like deconstructing, rebuilding, deconstructing, rebuilding. This is not at all how I wanted this to go, but it's the only way I can think of to do it safely-ish. So That's just the way it's going to have to be for now. That's locked and locked and locked. That's good, it's good, it's good. Here we go. Oh, not again. Let's stand precariously on this precipice right here and watch as the fireworks are about to ensue. So, maximum distance, let's say 4 should be good for the minute. Reverse. And watch as it clangs out and goes up in flames. Oh, 4 was not quite near enough. Let's bump that up to 6 this time. What did I do wrong here? What did I do wrong? Oh, it's stuck at 3.5. What is it stuck on? Oh, of course it's... Ow! What just happened? What did I hit? I don't think I was even going that fast. Ow! So that's happened to me a couple of times where I've hit something and I've been brought pretty low on the health bar, and I was like, oh, I didn't think that would hurt, but it did. And other times where the opposite, I've fallen quite a... Oh gosh, oh no, oh no. The wiggling, oh gosh. Clang rears his ugly head, takes a look around, decides, nah, not good enough, and continues on his way. Yeesh. So I've got a battery on there. The reason I put a battery on here is because I wanted to turn this rotor. One of the things I usually do, and apparently I didn't on this one. Gosh, it's not even on the right side. Oh, I did put one on here. Excellent. So this rotor, advanced rotor drill rig, apparently it's this exact one. I want to... Oh, it's rotor lock, that's why. Let's see, I want to reverse that. And I want to stop it once it gets to lower limit of 270. I guess I can just stop it once it gets to about there. Advanced rotor, 0, rotor lock. That should be good enough for while we're maneuvering some things. Now here is the point. This is going to need to come back a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that trick one more time. Let's put on a what do we call it? A control panel. It's missing a display, but apparently it doesn't care. But you'd think a display would be important for this sort of thing. Okay, I'm not going to complain too much about it. Advanced rotor. That would be this one? Question mark. We'll soon find out. It is this one. Okay, let's bring this down to minus 20. Oops, excuse me, 0.2. Okay, is that far enough for it to allow it to move past? Nope, it's going to have to go all the way to minus 40. Ooh, oh no, oh that's... oh, it's just ever so slightly off, but... okay, okay. Let's tempt Clang. Oh, did it push it? Did it push it over? It did a little bit, it pushed it. There's really no other thing for it now. I'm gonna have to build yet another piston rig just to move it back ever so slightly. Again, part of the process. Frustrating, but there it is. Okay. Well, that's more than far enough for it to work, but it still needs to... You know what? I have half a mind just to put some power supply on this thing and just roll it forward and then reverse the piston, because this is getting on my nerves. So this is not quite far over enough, which is why I'm remodifying this. I will be honest, guys, this has tested my patience. Maximum distance, let's just do it 1 to begin with. Okay. 8.5. Nope. Oof. Okay. Accidentally made it work. I'm sorry I didn't catch the moment where it actually merged, but it looks like it's okay, and I think I've got enough clearance. The only way to be sure is to test it. Please say this is correct now. Rotor lock off. We are spinning faster than I meant to, but that's okay. Okay. I don't want it to go anywhere. That's fully retracted as much as it will go. That is being held together by duct tape and wishes at this point. I'm going to build up a few things here to give it some strength. Now, the big question of the day. Now that it's free from the base, free from everything else, the rotor is locked. Whoops. Okay, could be worse, could be worse. Certainly a lot less than what I've almost done recently. There was a point where I think if I had broken down one block or done something the wrong way, the entire thing would have fallen down and caused untold damage. As it is, it seems to be okay. This has its own... Oh gosh, okay. What I want to do is I want to shore this up as well. Okay, that should be fine. And I'm going to reverse this piston and have it lay down, and hopefully it won't just clang downwards. Here we go, guys. It's reversing, it's lifting up into the air. Oh goodness, this is the part where it could just... Okay, it stopped and it's in place. It looks hideous, but it's down. Oh my word. And that takes up far less room than I thought. I've got all of this room right here to play with, which means I can put in a more of a command center instead of just an ordinary cockpit. I can put storage. I can put maybe even refineries. I've got all kinds of room here. I wasn't sure how far back he was, because given my inadequacies as far as counting was concerned on some of the other things, I wasn't sure if it was gonna work or not. Oh, I am so pleased. I will, I think, attach another one on this side to make it stronger, because I don't like the idea of there just being one there and have a support thing in the middle. But I am so pleased. The real test, of course, is going to be, now that it's down, will it go back up again? It does. It does indeed. Oh, it looks absolutely monstrous. I love it. I love it. Gosh, I went from being like super bummed out because I was having problems getting things to line up properly, to get the drill attached there, to just being so giddy and excited now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the rest, or at least finish it to where it's going to be functional, so that we can actually use it to get some gold. Like the other trucks, I'll probably add to it over time and stuff like that, but for now, let's not skip ahead, but let's move ahead with more haste and less me yammering, and see where it gets us. Oh, so excited. Okay, we are at a point, I would think, that we can detach this thing and take it for a test drive. I do have a battery on here, which is hopefully charging somewhat. 36%. It's probably not enough to do a whole lot right now, but it'll be certainly enough to take her for a test drive. I've got the pistons and the landing gear, although the landing gear I want to have them not set to lost track of what I was doing. Landing gear. Nope, those ones right there. Of course, it's attached to the base, so there's a ton of stuff on there right now that's showing up. But we're about to detach it right now. I've got the control unit. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't need a gyro right this second. Hopefully it's going to be stable enough that it doesn't try to flip. Of course, now that I've said that, it probably will. Okay, so here we go. We're about to release the beast. Alright, she's down. She's rolling. Handbrake. Handbrake on and off. Right now it's off, now it's on, now it's off again. Okay, let's just double check we've got everything in here. It says 19 hours of power, so I think we're okay. The system for moving material around is on and good. I should actually do this by getting out and looking, but oh well. Here we go. We're going to back up. We're going to brake. We're going to turn. Ooh, that's a tight turning radius, but that's kind of what we want. And here we go at it was up to 20 just a minute ago. 20 meters per second. Alright, so this doesn't have any automation on it at all right now. This is just purely a test to make sure that it will work. We may as well test it on the gold. And then what we'll do is we'll swap the automation that was on the base onto this rig, and it'll be amazing. Whoa. There's the original borehole from the dig site. Alright, let's park her right there. Handbrake on. And bail out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to break these out really quick. I could probably line it up so I can actually dig in this particular section, but this was just a marker where I thought I was going to make another base, but as it turns out, we're not going to do that. So, okay. What we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to set the landing gears down. Okay, so those are on the hotbar. Let's go ahead and deploy. Oops, wrong button. Hopefully this will raise us up evenly. Okay, now this is quite a ways up. That may not be necessary to have it that far up, but what I'm going to do is lock that. I'm going to have to add the rotors, so let's go ahead and do that. Oops. Alright, so I think I got everything set up. Let's go ahead and move the rotors. Oh, it's jiggling. Okay. Now, to ensure that that's actually a pretty good clearance, maybe I could take a meter or two off of the height of the pistons when they're extended like that. Alrighty, moment of truth, here we go. So apparently we're over gold and silver. Oh, that's the one thing I forgot to put on this thing was an ore detector. But we'll worry about that in a little bit. So, spinny-majiggy. That's turning. That's actually a little bit slower than I think it is capable of, so let's go ahead and speed that up. There we go, that should be good. Alright. Now, drills. On. And here we go. Alright, so this was a successful first test for the most part. I see, however, that I have exceeded my... oh, almost, not quite. So I filled up these two drills. I wasn't prepared to drill anymore. I still got room in these drills here, but I'm effectively out of container space. So one of the things I'd like to do for sure is add some refineries. In particular, I would like for them to only refine stone and then immediately drop gravel where we are, because we're taking up a lot of space in that in the cargo containers for the gravel. But otherwise, that actually worked out better than I expected. So if I go into back into spectator cam, you see we reached the vein, and what I did was I started extending these pistons out, but we had already we'd already collected so much ice. Ooh, there we go. Collected so much ice and stone that by the time we got to this layer, basically we had filled up. However, I mean, that worked out really well. Here, let's go switch back to ourselves so we can zip around a bit more. In fact, I should have been doing that to begin with, instead of using spectator cam. Cheating! Disgusting cheating! So yeah, now that the drill heads are pulled back in, I'm going to retract these ones as well. And then we're going to reset everything. We're going to take this back and get everything refined and have this thing charging while I add batteries, the command sort of sensor. I'm hoping that once we get some weight on the back end there, it won't like tend to tip up as it's braking. We'll soon find out. Oh, actually stopping power is going to be pretty bad once we try to get home. Anyway, so that's going to retract the drills. I'll go ahead and speed that up in just a second, and then I'll head home and we'll probably set up some sort of connection for this thing. That'll be something else actually that I want to add, is a system, a programmable block probably, that will tell the pistons to reset themselves to different modes, so that when it's done I can just retract it fairly quickly rather than waiting for it to retract at its usual speed. Let's see, that's those last two pistons there. Good, so that's all done. Those are retracted, the drill's stopped, the thing's not spinning anymore, so I think we can safely do this. That'll rest right there. I still want to add some sort of system by where when it's like attached like this, it will lock so it doesn't jiggle around as much, but again, something I can deal with once I'm refining the design. Oh man, I'm super pleased with how this turned out, and the wheels are wide enough that even with the borehole there, I'm not going to drop down into the hole or anything like that. Spirit of Le Monde, eh? So I'm going to oops, wrong one. Oh, we are tipping. We are tipping. Okay, so an unforeseen consequence of having a lot of weight in the front here. As I started the process of... oh dear. I thought for sure that all this cargo would weigh it down. I guess I underestimated how heavy these drills are. And of course they're full as well. Okay, so a resounding success up until this moment. I'm going to see if I can very carefully maneuver backwards or forwards? Forwards, I presume. Okay, the handbrake is on. Okay, this is where gyroscopes are going to come in handy. So I'm actually going to... Oh, how much fuel do I have left? Let's look at my tank. 25%. With 25% fuel left, I'm going to hop on back to base. Oh, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to waste fuel. I'm going to hop on back to base, and I'm going to see about getting some material for gyros and see if I can fix this without having to resort to a huge assembly system. And then I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do about this, because... Oh, you know what else I can do actually? This should be about the right height for the Rhino. If I bring a connector, I can bring the Rhino, take some of the stuff back with me. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring the Rhino back with me. Maybe try and take some of the material out as well at the same time. I can load the Rhino up with the materials I need. Okay, yeah, we got a plan, And I think we'll make this the last thing we do today, because I've run out of time with all the messing around I've done. Oh, now that it's out and moving around, those horns look ridiculous. Whoops. You know what I did not think about bringing? Was enough parts to build a large grid connector. That was the whole point. Oh well. Okay, so I might be able to, however... Okay, let's go ahead and... Actually, no, let's back this thing up just in case we have any sort of a roll forward and destroy my precious Rhino situation. There's one. And there's two. And if I have to, I can manually move the some of the material by hand. Ooh, Stormfire, I like that name. Makes me think of Teen Titans, Starfire, which actually partly where we got our name for our dog, who I'm sure you've seen before, who actually, now that I think about it, I haven't included in my videos recently. I'll have to see if I can dig up some footage of her. I could just bring her in, I suppose, but where's the fun in that? I'm sure I could get something relatively interestingly adorable. That one's full of ice, that one's got ice and stone, that one's full of ice, that one's full of ice and stone. Oh, that one's got gold. Oh, look at that, even more gold. Yes! So much gold! I think it's time we should try it. I really hope I don't accidentally fall into the... Oh. Backwards. Don't run over the Rhino. Please don't run over the Rhino. Let's back up away from the hole just in case. Oh, tension. Alright, well, I think that will just about do it for today. I've pretty much accomplished what I wanted. I have obviously a little bit of redesign to do. I think once this is filled out, it'll help weigh down this back end and hopefully prevent issues like that before. It's going to make slowing down when I get back to base a little bit tricky, but I'll just have to keep the speed down. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking with me as I've been going through this. Apologies for having to split it up into two different episodes, though I hope you don't mind that I just went ahead and did a kind of a bonus episode instead. I can't do that all the time, but I figured since I promised that I was going to do the drill thing today that I would go ahead and do that. Alright, well, like I said, I think that's just pretty much all I can do for today. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. Please leave a comment and let me know. Is there something I can do to improve? Is there something you enjoyed? Just say hey, whichever you want to do. It's nice to know that you guys are there and watching and everything. It's really very encouraging. And thank you again, everybody so far who has subscribed, who's commented, who's liked. It's more appreciated than you can know. And I shall leave it here. You all have a good one, and I'll see you on the other side.